With the structural changes to our new kitchen going as smoothly as we could have hoped for, we are finally ready to start adding in the new. This week, we're deciding on appliances, running plumbing and electrical, and with new drywall installed, it's starting to look like a real room.
A significant light, just where it was needed.
Before we jump into today's video, I am so excited to introduce my latest candle scent for my brand Autumn Lore, and it's named Willow. And this candle has been in the works for many months because I wanted to include a note in it that isn't very common year round, which is frankincense. And normally you see that in the holiday time. We were finally able to create a scent that had frankincense in it, but was for year round. From the beginning, I've been calling this my creativity scent. And if you've ever looked up any of the benefits of frankincense, incredible for so many things, including promoting creativity. So we paired it with neroli, which on top gives this sweetness, citrusy sweetness, a very light hint, and then we grounded it with Palo Santo, cedarwood, and frankincense. Also in this candle is tonka bean and elemi, and together they create a warm, woodsy, yet bright candle. It still has some uplifting elements to it. The goal with this candle was to really calm your home, your space, and your mind so that creativity could flourish, so that calmness can flourish in your home, and it really can go into any space where you want to promote a sense of calm. A new scent wouldn't be complete without a new candle vessel. This is the custom vessel that I designed based off of vintage glassware, and we did it in a topaz color, but this particular version of topaz was really my take on it, and it had a hint of pink, just a hint of pink in it, which was making it perfect to launch this season and to keep year round because it literally pairs with everything that I put in my home. And of course, my mom painted a custom painting for this scent, and it's of a landscape and of the frankincense tree because frankincense actually comes from a tree. So excited about this scent. I cannot wait for you guys to smell it and see it in person. It is officially available now when you're watching this. I'll leave the link to the website in the description box so that you guys can check it out. And I can't wait to see these in your home. We have officially completed demo and structural changes, additions, things that we wanted to change within the kitchen from what it was. We had really low ceilings. They were able to vault the ceiling. We got the cathedral with the soffit in the center so that it matches the rest of the house, and we still have space to run things like central AC, electrical, and put some lighting up there as well. If they have any framing left to do, it's very minimal, and they'll tackle it in the morning. So tomorrow, the electrician and the plumber is gonna come. Since the framing is done, they're able to run all the wires for the new electrical. They've already relocated that breaker box that we had, that sub panel that we had in the middle of the wall. They've already relocated it and reallocated it just to our main panel on the side of the house, which was only like 5 feet away from the sub panel. So we've gotten that all taken care of. So now they can add the new stuff. So I sat down and figured out exactly where I wanted every light, every recessed light, every light that was going to be more decorative, every outlet, what I really wanted in this space, because in kitchens are really high task place. Like you do a lot in a kitchen and you need to be able to see. And something that we really lacked in the kitchen and throughout the house was light. And so we've really optimized the lighting now during the day for natural light. So the skylights are gonna help. The breaking down the center wall is gonna help to give us light in the morning and the afternoon. And just the placement of the windows and everything it's really gonna help the space during the day. But what about at night, or what about on a gloomy day like today? It's not really going to give us that light. Now, I always err on the side of more is better when it comes to lighting because you have the option to use whatever lights you want. So I sat down and I literally created our electrical and lighting plan. I went a little overboard and I did it on the actual floor plan so that I could really plan it out. But even a drawing would have helped tell the electrician like what we needed. For sure, we know we wanted 1, if not 2 pendant lights over the dining room table. That was a must. I want something pretty in the center of the room. So I kind of started with my prettier stuff and went from there. And also because the back wall is so full of like glass cabinetry and it's a really beautiful statement, I wanted lighting to actually kind of shoot onto that, more like picture lighting, more like if you had a piece of art on the wall, it would shine directly. So I wanted to do directional lights with lights on gimbals so that we can move them around right in front of that glass cabinetry. I also wanted one that went right over the sink because that's always a good place to put either a recessed light or something more decorative. So I opted for something more decorative there. So we definitely have to find a pretty light to go there. And then in the ceiling, I filled in with recessed lighting. Anytime that there was a space between the countertop and the bottom of the cabinet above, I wanted to put under counter lighting. I love that light as a kind of like a night light in a sense. It can be softer. And if you know anything about me, you know that I don't like to see outlets. I don't want to see them on the tile. I don't want to have to do that. So I've actually opted to do a power strip of sorts, like under counter outlet strip. Essentially anywhere an outlet will be seen, I want to hide it. Anywhere an outlet is going to be like inside of a cabinet, like we want for the coffee bar and the appliance pantry, those are fine. Those do not need to be hidden. It can just go directly on the wall. So another thing that we really need to decide on before we meet with the electrician and the plumber is what appliances we're going to be putting into the kitchen. Now we did save our dishwasher, so that's existing. So they know what that is and what's needed for that if there was anything specific. But what are we going to do for our sink, our oven, and our refrigerator? Those are three big ones because sometimes these things can be pretty specific and need specific things, whether it's plumbing or certain outlets, gas versus something else. So we need to decide on. So I just pulled up at Universal Appliance and Kitchen Center. I haven't ever been here before, but I found it and I think that they have the oven that I'm kind of leaning towards. And we did go through this process at the cottage and I visited a couple of places to look for appliances. So I'm pretty familiar with the brands. I just want to refresh my memory, and Romeo's going to meet me here so that we can really like go through it together. Hardware and faucets. We need to pick our faucets, our pot filler. Might as well look at everything while we're here. No, for sure I want to do all vintage hardware for the cabinetry, so I'm not going to be looking at any of this stuff really, but it's good to see it in person. I definitely want to look at the faucets, specifically at Kohler. We also want to do a water filtration system, so I'm going to be doing some research on like which ones are the best. Okay, now we're getting to the ovens. I happen to love the refrigerator that we did in the cottage. It was Mila. Mila, everyone says I say something different. I say it the other way. I love it. I love the baskets. This is a Thermador. And it's similar. I love the quality of that brand. And I do want it paneled. I do not want to see the fridge like this. I just happen to love that style more. So I wouldn't be upset about going with the same fridge as the cottage, for sure. That's pretty cool. It's like completely hidden, no hardware, no nothing. Too modern, but like that's pretty cool. Sub-Zero is what my parents have, and it feels very industrial, sort of like industrial kitchen. Like, not the vibe. This is paneled. I take it back, this is Sub-Zero and it doesn't look industrial. It was just the one I opened. We made it to the Mila section. If I'm getting this excited over a brand, I feel like I should just go with it again. There's something about it. Like, I've looked at all of them again, and there's something about this brand I just love. It's the baskets in the freezer. I love the wire, and we've had it and we've lived with it, and I just know that I love it. This is the 3-door French door style. Master cool French door. This is the exact refrigerator that we have, but paneled. So we don't have the front, like all of this. We don't have. Now when it comes to ovens, we are not gonna have wall ovens like that. We would lose the storage space. So we're just gonna have a 48-inch range with an oven underneath. I don't know if it's Ilvi or Liv. They have one of them here, but not the style I wanted, but at least we'll get to experience it. This is the Bosch brand, and this is the dishwasher that we already have. Heard really good things about this brand, and I really like our dishwasher. That's why we kept it, and we're just gonna like resurface it. They pretty much all have the French doors, but they also have the refrigerator. I'm wondering if this one comes paneled. It's a very similar refrigerator part, but the freezer doesn't have the same baskets. But I mean, I'm interested to see the price difference because you never know. Because it has like these, which isn't quite as nice, but still really nice. I'd like to see they don't have the price. So when you're picking a refrigerator, there are a couple things that you need to decide on: height and depth. Look how tall this one is, and look at this one. You see the difference, like the heights and stuff. I always like taller. Taller is better, but also counter depth or deeper. It really depends on what kind of space you need in your refrigerator. So we would definitely want taller and not as deep. Like we would want counter depth. Okay, Romeo met me there and we walked through one more time. I narrowed it down for us. By the time you see this, I will have gathered all of my thoughts and I'll put on the screen our final selects because we really need to make these decisions pretty quickly. I definitely think we're leaning towards doing the same refrigerator that we did in the cottage because I love it and we both love it. And that was one of the requests that Romeo had when we were starting this renovation. He was like, could we get the same fridge? I do love this black and brass oven from Ilvi. I didn't get to see it in person at this place. I still think it's going to be good. I think I've seen enough pictures of it where it's going to be good. And we're keeping our dishwasher, and I want to go visit the Kohler showroom so that I can see the faucets and things, but that can come a little later. Got my plans, my binder, tape measure, painter's tape, and a Sharpie. Okay, so we'll go wall by wall. So this is what we're calling the back wall. This is the wall that has the oven and the refrigerator, so we need those types of outlets. Now they already have the list of appliances that I'm actually purchasing, installation guides, the specific things that each of them we're going to need, you know, because I have a very specific range that I bought. So I'm like, I need a 220 outlet, I need gas line, natural gas, so things like that. This outlet already exists, and that one we'll use for the refrigerator. The only thing that it needs is water, and I see that they've already written it here. So that is for the ice maker in the refrigerator. In the center here is the stove. I see they have it stove written, and it's right in the center of the wall. This one I need a 220 outlet. So that we know for sure. Okay, we've got a weird outlet here that we don't need. Each side of the range, there's 2 bottom cabinets and then 2 uppers. They're not very wide because of the restraints from the window and things, and I wanted everything to be balanced. But I definitely want to do 2 here. This wall is pretty much staying very similar in terms of its design because I want to keep the sink and the dishwasher here. We're just kind of expanding the counter space and maximizing the space that was here so we don't have that dead area anymore by the door. And we're kind of expanding it that way as well because that was where the old refrigerator was. Definitely need power for the dishwasher and the garbage disposal, things like underneath the sink, so we'll need one down there. So that'll be 110. And then there's going to be a bottom cabinetry here with a countertop and uppers, so there's going to be a space again. So I definitely want to plug here. That's all we need there. And then again, one on the other side. This wall is pretty heavy on the cabinetry, both lowers and uppers. We've got a pantry going on that side. This is the entryway to the living room that's closed up right now. And then from the entryway all the way to the wall is all cabinets. We have modified the design a little bit to give us 6 foot of additional counter space. So instead of having that full cabinets, like the whole wall sits on the countertop, which I love the look of. The more we thought about how much storage we were actually adding, we have plenty. So we can afford to have that raised a little higher. I don't think that we'll use it a ton, but I think there are certain times of year that we'll use it. You know, to display food, like if we're having like a get together or something. I don't know, 6 foot of counter space is quite substantial. This is all gonna be like higher here. So I definitely want 1 plug counter height here. Definitely want 1 plug here because this is gonna be the coffee bar. So I want that counter height. And then I want 1 plug in the pantry at counter height because that's gonna be kind of like appliance storage. We're gonna have our microwave in there. They can actually like pull out or whatever. We're gonna figure that out, but I definitely want a plug inside. And I think right here, this used to be the door. It's now gonna be a wall because this is the refrigerator. I'm gonna add 1 lower because this is gonna be a great place to plug things in like lower. You know, I think they'll add it regardless because I think it needs it. The refrigerator is gonna stick out. So I'm gonna put it on this one. Cool. Okay, outlets done. All of the upper cabinets, anything that sits off of the ground is gonna have lighting because I want that. I want that. That's another wire that they need to run. Okay, so these lights were originally in our kitchen. I wanted to try and reuse them, salvage them, and put them both together and hang them as 2 over the dining room table. One of my concerns was that since we were opening up the room so much, that it was gonna be too big for these. These were gonna feel too small, too insignificant. That's why I was like, well, maybe 2 of them together might work. Now, obviously they have to be rewired because they're not gonna be long enough, but I want Romeo to hold them up so that I can see like scale. Are we gonna use these or not? And hang it like off to the side, like right, lower. Yeah, and just over, like in front of you. Yeah. It's like, are they too small? We have 2 of them. It's kind of like in between. It's kind of like they could be a little bigger. That's basically like I need to determine, are we gonna do the 2? I need 2 boxes. If we don't do the 2 and I do a big one, single chandelier, I only need 1 box. So kind of have to pick like now.
For the oven, run cut for 6. 6. We're gonna run 6 for the oven and you figure out 50 amp, 30 amp. 1. I need power for the hood. It's exterior vent. It's exterior vent. Just give me a power. I will send you all the specs. We have power here. Counter, the same thing. Underlight counter, window stay.
Yes.
Nothing here. Any appliance here?
Nothing, just
Done.
the oven.
Okay, now switch for the power, dishwasher.
Yeah, and garbage disposal.
Garbage disposal, so 2 air gap switch, 1 light. The counter continue L. The counter continue L shape. Okay. So you do this one. This one you can do counter. You want to do counter or?
That's actually on the counter on the wall because that's gonna be the coffee bar. So I need to plug in the coffee
like
there. Wall plug.
Wall plug, because we close the doors.
Yeah, so anything that's hidden by a cabinet, you can put it on the wall. But anything that's exposed, hide it.
Now, so the switch, door, no door, opening. So we're gonna do the light from inside. We have a cut when we can.
Like this, on the side of the
Yeah.
cabinetry right there.
Perfect.
So my plan is good, huh?
Oh, maybe we need to add the more soft panel right here, out of soft panel.
And the light. So
Yeah.
see, we have the light.
So we'll do one off center here, not in the center, but off center. I'm gonna grow like flowers here.
The
So.
off center. The AC. First I need to check. See this old how it's coming? I need to check.
Okay.
Yeah. So I need 1 vent here, center between the light. So 1 here. So center.
Center of the two.
And 1 here, center.
Yes.
But I want to check what's going on in the house. If everything's okay, if it's not connected, disconnected.
Oh, you wanna check it?
I want to check what's
Okay.
going on. So I don't want to open it again after. It's enough.
both here original.
Do you want a regular square box or do you want linear box? Like those
We have
nice...
the regular square inside, so
Oh, it's a traditional house.
Yeah,
Oh,
traditional
okay,
house.
no modern.
We're
Traditional.
not looking for anything
Yeah.
special.
I don't know if the size is right. Look, the big of the room is like 14 by 14, no, 15 by 16, right? It's like
Big,
150,
16 by 17, yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's even more. It's 250
Yeah.
square feet.
Can we run the system? We check the airflow or it's...
Yeah.
Kick it down so it turns on.
Yes, please, yeah. I just want to see the airflow, see if what we did. Okay.
Feels good.
What do you want? You want one here, one over there?
They say one.
One in the center of the two lights and then one in the center of the two
Got
lights.
it. You want like 10 by 10, 8 by 8?
The better that's gonna fill the room, I guess. So 10 by 10?
It's your call.
Yeah, whatever you think.
10 by 10.
It's good, so everything's
So I'm gonna
connected.
put 2 new ducts here. I'm gonna change it to new ones. We put 2 boxes.
So today they tackled all of the insulation. They already have drywall here, all here. This is so exciting because it's just this process, this project is moving so quickly. It's making me so happy. But it feels like when you talk in here, it feels like muffled, like it's so insulated. It's gonna be so good. Like it's going to keep it cool or hot, whatever we want, the temperature inside. The skylights are also energy efficient, so that the sun's going to kind of beam down on them. Of course, our older windows aren't energy efficient. They're from the 30s, but I love it. You know me and partial to older windows. One thing you can do to older windows, which we have every intention on doing in the cottage, is actually filming them. So you can put a film on the glass to help with that. It hasn't really been a problem, so we haven't done it, but you could always do that if we need to. But this is incredible. They might start putting up the drywall tomorrow, which is incredible. You guys, I cannot believe we're to this stage. In just under a month, they have been able to not only demo the space, change it structurally, break down a wall, add the cathedral ceiling, add skylights to the space for even more light, run all the plumbing and the electrical and drywall in just under a month. I am so happy with our progress. Now it's looking like a real room. Now you can really see what this space will become. It's truly so crazy. I do think that they have to do the skim coat on the drywall. The drywall isn't completely finished, but it is all up and kind of seamed together. And now you can really see where the electrical is. So right here is where the oven goes. So we've got the power and electrical for the hood, plumbing for our pot filler here. We have under cabinet lighting and the power strip to go under the upper cabinets, which is fantastic. We have the plug-in water for the refrigerator. We have the gas line, natural gas, and the outlet. Oh, we have 2 outlets there. I don't know what the other outlet is for. Maybe they knew that they need it because they know what appliances we're gonna have. We kept the sink and the dishwasher in the same spot, so they could use some of the stuff, but they actually did have to relocate the plumbing for the sink into the wall because it wasn't. I mean, we had 2 pipes sticking straight up underneath our sink, so we couldn't really use the space under the sink, and it should have been relocated into the wall when they updated it from the 30s, but they didn't. Since there's a crawl space, it was easier for them to kind of manipulate, so they pulled the plumbing into the wall, and now we just have the spigots coming out, which is great. We've got the power for the dishwasher and the garbage disposal. Under cabinet lighting here, and also a switch for a new light that's gonna go outside, because every door for code has to have a light. We won't see outlets on the wall, but we will see switches, which is okay. I mean, that's just inevitable, but I wanted a porch light out there anyway, so it was great. We have under cabinet lighting here to kind of run this whole span above the countertop here, which is great. Plug for the coffee maker inside, and a plug in the pantry. Now you can really see where the lighting and the ceiling is gonna go too. We've got 3 on this side for recess, and then 3 matching on the other side. So that's gonna offer us plenty of light on each side of the kitchen, and then we have 2 more in the center. So we have determined that the 2 lights that we saved, we couldn't put higher bulbs in them, so they were never gonna give us enough light. So we're not gonna be able to use those lights in this space, but I am saving them. But we're on a mission to find a really beautiful center light for over the dining room table. And also a pretty light to go right above the sink. That's gonna be a really beautiful moment as well. We already have our new AC vents installed. We were actually able to use what was existing for our AC. They were just able to kind of add onto it and extend it and make sure it's all like perfect. But we were able to use that, so we didn't have to do any updates to that. One modification that we did do to this side of the lighting that I wanted, like the pretty spotlights, is we went down to 2 because there just wasn't enough room in the ceiling to do 3 with the beam and the other recessed lights. You know, some things you just have to modify and change as you go, and that was one of them. I am so, so happy with the progress that we're making in just under a month, which is insane, crazy. We are now officially entering kind of the prettier stage. You know, we're done with the structural work. We're done trying to strip things away and fix the issues. You know, now we're to the point where we can paint and get our custom doors and fix these windows so that they actually open and function, which I've wanted to do for a while. Paint and put up lighting and get our appliances. You know, all of the pretty stuff is coming. So I'm really, really excited. Oh, and we get to go pick our slab for our countertops and tile. So many things to come, but all in the pretty stage. So I hope you guys are enjoying this series so far. If you've missed episode 1 and 2, I will leave them linked. We have many more things to come, as you can see, which is really exciting. I'm very happy we're moving so quickly because baby boy is definitely coming. I mean, I'm 31 weeks pregnant now, so we have some time. But it's a good thing we're moving quickly. Catch up in the series if you need to, and I will see you guys in 2 Sundays for the next episode. Coming up next in our kitchen renovation.
I'm gonna leave them about a ½ inch for squaring.
I don't know if that's it. I'm dead.
It's a design thing.
Yeah. You know, I was trying to be different over here. More complicated, but different.
You are.
Each of these doors would be 21 inches by 5 foot tall. So crazy.